Hey, Kane.
Hey,
How you doing, buddy?
good. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, hit the video button on the bottom left there. Start video.
Oh, yeah. Ah, there we go.
There's the legend himself.
Look at your background and look at mine.
It's okay. The background's for both of us.
I'm in my garage, so
You okay? Wait a minute. I'll make you feel better real quick.
you gonna put something behind me?
No, I'll tell you.
Oh.
Here's behind me. There's my room.
Oh, well, yes, you're right.
Okay, so there it is. But you know what? I got to look cool. I got to have that up. So,
How do I do something like that?
well, in Zoom, there's a bottom left there. You can do a virtual background. You can create something or have one that's used in that they give you. But you can create a background when you do interviews or any. Just take a picture and
Really?
drop it in there. Yeah.
You mean, what do I hit? The icon on the bottom?
See here where it says stop video. Click the little arrow next to it, and then it brings up a menu.
Wait, stop video. Oh, yeah, stop video.
Oh, hit
Okay.
that button. Yeah, hit the button next to it, the little arrow, and it brings up a
Yeah.
little menu. Choose virtual background.
Ah,
And that gives you, those are the pre ones that Zoom gives you. But there's a little arrow, a little plus button to the right saying add video or add, you can add anything you want. Like, check this out. You can be in Vegas, I could have video playing behind me. Yeah, there you are. Kane Hodder on the beach.
yeah.
Or you can hang out in
That's
Vegas.
amazing.
You can hang out with Vegas with me. We can go to the sign, Yeah.
I never knew you could do that.
Oh,
Shit.
yeah, it's pretty cool. And right before you, I was supposed to talk to, where is he? I was supposed to talk to Mr. Tony Todd. He canceled on me. So
Oh,
the Candyman was a no-show, but Jason Vorhees is here. So that's all that matters to
how do I get back to you now? Yeah. I see both of us.
And you're on the beach.
Yes.
You're on the beach. Well, Kane Hodder, thank you for talking to me today. Meeting a legend is such an honor. I'm Generation X. This is really just too much for me. You're the highlight of my summer. And
Wow.
how you been?
Terrible summer, I guess you've had.
Meaning
If I'm the highlight, then you've had a shit summer.
well, no, I'm a big movie fan, so this is a total thrill for me. So,
Okay.
so let's talk about your new film, The Good Things Devils Do. I love that this movie takes place during Halloween night. It really sets the tone and the mood for this movie.
Yeah, it was, not a completely different character for me. I'm always a bad guy, but, that's okay. What I liked about the role was especially how Jess did that one scene where I have a 3-minute scene with the two girls, the mom and the daughter, where it never cuts from me.
That was all one shot. I noticed that.
One shot and never a cut to anything else. And from an acting standpoint, boy, that is a dream come true, man. You never get a 3-minute shot, because that's basically what it is, a 3-minute shot of just me talking, nothing else. And boy, that's a challenging thing, but so gratifying to be able to get that chance. And that was all Jess, man.
Well, but preparing for that, how many takes did you have to do with that? Because I assume that adrenaline, that first take was a good one.
I think, you'd have to ask him, but I don't know if we did more than one. I can't remember doing several takes, certainly. And, when you're given that chance to have a take that long, and you got to deliver, or, you won't be given that chance again.
And your character, Percy, he's not a very nice guy. And it's all about collecting drug money for the boss. And it all goes wrong, doesn't it?
Well, yes, it does. It doesn't go as he expected. And as Percy normally has things go, yes. But, again, that makes it more of a fun type of role. I mean, I'm always a bad guy, but when there's different layers to that evil, then that just makes it more enjoyable,
And your battle with the vampire, it got pretty bloody. Tell me, how did you prepare for that scene? Because it was pretty gross.
Pretty gross. I mean,
Well, they're pulling out your intestines. Of course it's
I
gross.
know, but usually I'm the one doing that to someone else. And, when it's happening to me, eh, not as fun. I'll say that. Being on the other side of the violence is not as enjoyable. But again, an actor likes to play all sides of all characters, and any actor will tell you that when you get a chance to do something different, you welcome it.
And working with Bill Orbs Jr., another horror legend in his own right. Tell me about that experience.
He's great. He reminds me a lot of Mosley. Just they both have the same demeanor on the set. They both kind of have a bad guy look without even trying, kind of just an unfriendly type look. And he was just a pleasure to work with. We've known each other for a while anyway from the convention scene, but it was nice to be able to work together.
And you've done voice work, for the Friday the 13th video game. And is that more challenging at times than on-camera work, just doing voiceover?
Well, I mean, the video game, I did all the motion capture too for Jason. Every time you see Jason move in the video game, it's me. It took almost 2 years to do all that motion capture for the game. And then I did some, noises and stuff. And voiceover is a completely different process, as you know. And it's actually, I don't know, to me, I find it easier. Some people find it harder because you can't express yourself on camera because you're just talking into a mic. But I find it like the easiest form of acting. And I'm not sure if other people agree with me, but I really enjoy it. And I take it just as seriously. And most good voiceover performers do exactly that. They will be so expressive and stuff while delivering the dialogue just because it helps them deliver it the way they want to. So it's funny to have a camera on a voiceover actor who's doing all this crazy shit while talking, and people are looking at us and say, you don't need to do that, but that's just how the process goes.
And you portrayed Jason Voorhees 5 times, and you spent years underneath that mask. Have you ever met like really young fans who don't believe you when you say I'm Jason?
Well, I don't just normally walk up to a kid on a playground and say, I'm Jason, because that'll get me arrested. I
mean, if like an adult fan like me, be like, no, Billy, that's Jason. And since they're like, no, it's not,
Yeah, because he's not killing anybody and, sticking his fist down someone's throat or something. And by the way, when you say 5 Jasons, how are you referring to that?
Well, just
I did 4 movies.
Yeah, you did 4 movies. I count the video game too. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
you're portraying Jason. I think capture motion is acting, so I always count that.
For sure it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's almost now when I say voiceover is easier, I think motion capture is more difficult because you do not have the luxury of costume and makeup. You're in a motion capture suit, which is, spandex with sensors all over. So you don't look scary at all. So now you have to be that same character that you portrayed in movies without the addition of makeup and costume and all that. So it's a little more difficult. And the reason I asked why you referred to 5 is because other people, fans, say that I've played 5 Jasons in the movies alone because of part 7, part 8, Jason Goes to Hell, and then Jason X. I was 2 different versions of Jason. So that's how they think of it as 5, because I was pre-Uber Jason and then Uber Jason.
Well, maybe
so that's the only reason I was asking if you were referring to it that way or because of the game.
Well, how do you refer? Should I say 6 then? You portray Jason 6 times?
Well, yes.
Let's do it. It's official.
Oddly enough, doing the motion capture for the game, I had to do things as Jason that I would never have done on a film. Like, people know that in all the Friday movies I did, I would never run as Jason because I thought it weakened the character, just my opinion. So I never ran. But now when I'm doing the motion capture, they come to me one day and say, you know, people are going to be able to play as every version of Jason in the films. They're going to be able to choose that version to play as in the game. And I'm saying, okay, what are you getting to? And they're saying, well, Richard Brooker, among others, ran as Jason. Now it's like, wow, interesting, because I never thought Jason would run, but now I'm actually recreating someone else's performance, and I have to do them justice because they played the character as well. So I found myself doing things that I normally would have felt wouldn't be right, but of course it was right because it was their version of the character. So
Well,
it was
you know,
interesting.
I'm embarrassed to say, you know, Kane, I don't know the origin of how you became to play Jason. I assume it's because of your stuntman background, or how did you become Jason that for the first film?
Uh, well, I mean, I was Jason. I didn't start until part 7.
Right, exactly. But I mean, how did you be associated with the character?
Right. It was all John Beekler. I had done a couple movies with John. I was stunt coordinator. John was the makeup effects coordinator on, in particular, a movie called Prison. And Rennie Harlan directed it. And I was a stunt coordinator. John did the makeup. And he asked me if I would be interested in putting on a full body prosthetic for a couple nights to shoot in. I said, sure. You know, I've never really done it. And he appreciated how I worked in the makeup because it's totally different acting. And the following year, he got the job to direct Friday the 13th, Part 7. And no one in the first 6 movies had ever repeated in the role. So John was like, well, they never really settled on anyone. So he started pushing for me to do it. And the stunt background certainly helped because in that particular movie, Jason had to do so many stunts. It was ridiculous. The most out of any of the movies. And he just campaigned for me and you know, Paramount finally said, you know, okay, let's do it. We did a screen test even.
Oh, I'd love to have seen that. I wish that was included on a DVD or something.
Oh, I know. That would have been amazing. I saw some stills from it, but John actually shot it on film too. A screen test of me in the makeup, killing one of my buddies, one of my stunt buddies, Alan Marcus, over and over on film. Then he showed it to Paramount. And that's what's convinced them to say, okay, he's the guy.
And the rest is history.
And for
the rest is history.
For 20 years, I never knew that Beekler footed the bill for that screen test himself. That wasn't something Paramount said, okay, we'll give you the money here, go do it. He did it on his own because he was convinced that I would be good in the character and, you know.
Well, if that's not faith in an actor, I don't know what is. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've spoken to Jason Blum, you know, the producer from Blumhouse Pictures, and he's been trying to remake Friday the 13th for years, but he says it's just an illegal, eternal mess. I didn't know if you had any insight on where that is now or what's going on with that, because everything's been rebooted, but Jason is in limbo.
Yeah, I mean, from my understanding, there is one person that owns the Friday the 13th name, and there's another person that owns the rights to the character, something like that. So they can never agree on anything to, you know, make another film. I think that's part of the reason that Part 7 and Part 8 were called Friday the 13th with the subtitle. Then the 9th one was Jason Goes to Hell, and the 10th one was Jason X. So they were no longer Friday the 13th. And so, you know, that's, I think, a very simplified version of the conflict, but that's what it is basically from my understanding.
And I was looking at your filmography. It is exhausting. how many offers do you think you get a year to be in movie roles? Because you're just constantly working.
Well, I mean, I guess, so you're saying I'm a whore. Is that what it is? Is that what you're alluding to?
No, horse. Well, yeah, I guess if you were a slut, that would be free, right?
No, I mean, I do like to work,
Yeah.
obviously, and I do get lots of offers. Anyone that's known for any particular character, I mean, let's face it, if you're an independent filmmaker and you want people to notice your movie, then you try to see if you can afford someone that has a name in horror. It just makes sense, because anybody that, a fan would looking at movies and say, wait, Robert Englund, what? And then they'll give it a second look more than they would if there wasn't a recognizable name. So
What happened today? I saw your name on the Good Things Devils Do. Kane Hodder was there, and I called up the studio. I go, I want an interview, and they go, absolutely. And
wow.
you're on the beach. I know that right now, and I'm in Vegas, but we made it happen.
Yeah, I'm on the beach, all right.
And I know you're an actor and a stuntman by trade. And have you heard any support that the Academy is considering giving out Academy Awards to stuntmen for stunt work? Is there any progress on that?
It's always been an issue that's been debated. And I don't know. On one hand, I think filmmakers think that, well, just a stunt person, it's not like an actor performing, and which is, of course, totally
Tell that to Dar Robinson, tell that to Hal Needham, tell that to Reynolds, tell that to so many great stuntmen that have come along.
Oh yeah,
They've been there since film began. They have been there since the silent era.
Right. The problem, I think, and this was always brought up whenever the issue is addressed, is that stunt people can be very competitive. And if there is an Academy Award possible for doing a stunt, and I do think there is some truth to this way of thinking, people may take undue risk more than they would to try and get an Academy Award. So it's not a safe business anyway, and I've certainly had my injuries. But if you start putting giant awards out, people are going to try to do crazier and crazier things just to reach that award instead of doing what's needed for a film. And, I mean, I can't really argue that could be a possible factor because stunt people are so competitive. With Dar Robinson, and there was a guy named Dar Robinson, which and AJ Bakunis. I don't know if you ever remembered AJ. They were both the high fall guys in the business. And every year, one of them would do a high fall in a movie a little higher than the last guy. Dar goes 250 feet. Then AJ does 270. And then Dar does 285. And then eventually it got up to where AJ did 323. That's a high fall into an airbag from 32 floors. That's ridiculously high.
That bag feels like concrete at that height, doesn't it?
And he blew through the bag and it killed him. And, that is one of the factors, or one of the cases where people who thinks it will cause undue risk, they bring up because they kept besting each other. So there is a little truth to that, I think.
And during these times of pandemic, do you miss the conventions? Do you miss the fans?
Very much. And people are going to say, you miss the money. Well,
that's good too.
Of course, it's nice for the money, but the fans can tell the people that are there for the money and the people that are there because they like the fans. They're not stupid. Fans are not stupid. And they realize how much fun I have interacting with the fans and stuff. So I do miss it greatly because I've met some amazing people along the way and been told some really touching stories about people that were affected by my work over the years. So that in itself is something that makes it all worthwhile. Hey, get off my beach, you little bastard.
Well, that's what you get for going to a nude beach, Kane. Kane Hodder, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been a thrill of my career. I just absolutely adore you. And I can't wait to meet you in person someday. So when these conventions start back up again, I'm in Las Vegas, get out to the West Coast, and I'll come get a picture with you. You can sign I'll get a signed mask from you. I just can't wait. I really can't. This has been a total thrill.
But I didn't see you when I was in Vegas.
Did I miss you?
Oh, I think so, because I was there for the World Series of Poker. Okay. Which was all online this year.
Right.
So, but you had to physically be in the state. And then I did a signing at a brand new store, like a collectibles store that was just opening. Myself, Danielle Harris was there.
No, I did not know about that. I would have been first in line. Well, when things calm down and you get back on the road and things get back to normal, or the new normal, our paths will cross.
Good, and I promise to not choke you too hard.
Well, you are a whore.
And too hard for you may be different from too hard for me, so watch your ass.
Well, get off the beach, Kane, and we'll talk again soon, okay?
Thank you. Pleasure.